And it's made a huge difference in how much hair I lose, and also a huge difference in how fast my hair grows. This is the thickest and the fullest that my hair has ever been in my entire life.
This video is not sponsored, but you can show your support by purchasing my handmade in Canada prints I designed at amandabickett.com.
Welcome back, my beautiful friends. Today we're talking about hair loss and how I prevent it. This is part 1, where I talk about my hair care practices, the things that I do on a day-to-day basis, how I take care of my hair to prevent hair loss. Part 2 is going to be where I talk about my diet, lifestyle, and the supplements that I take. I used to lose so much hair. My hairballs were giant. I was always clogging the drain in the shower. My hair was just everywhere. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you have seen from my videos, because I like to show you guys my hairballs. We share a lot on this channel. I like to show you guys my hairballs after I detangle in my curly hair routines, and you guys have seen I am not losing very much hair. This is the thickest and the fullest that my hair has ever been in my entire life. My entire life, I thought that I didn't have that much hair. Now that it's growing in so thick and full, I'm realizing like, wow, I have the capability to grow a lot of hair. There is a lot more hair in my head. The bald patches that I used to have at my temples when I had locks, because one of my locks were pulled out when I used to have locks, have grown back in. If you want to know more about that, then you are definitely going to want to see part 2, so you can subscribe to see that. And you want to keep watching this video to know about my hair care practices to help keep my hair on my head and off of the floor and out of the shower drain. This is something that I've carried with me for years, and something that's always in the back of my head if ever I'm applying product, and that is, do not put product on your scalp. Especially if you have sensitive skin. This can create buildup. This can irritate your scalp, especially if you have sensitive skin, which can make your hair fall out. For me personally, when you put product on your scalp, I find that it really weighs down your hair and is very counterproductive to achieving volume and fullness, which is what I'm assuming you want because you're watching this video. So avoid clogging your follicles and putting a lot of heavy product on your scalp. Try to focus on the ends and the rest of your hair and keep your scalp light and fresh to avoid buildup and suffocating your scalp and irritating your scalp, which can lead to hair fallout. Stress is the destroyer of all things. Stress makes us break out. Stress can make our hair fall out. So try not to obsess over your hair. It is good to love your hair and care about your hair, but don't make yourself crazy over your hair. Try to focus on other things. So I find that when my hair is up and out of the way, I usually keep my hair up pretty much all the time. It's not in my mind. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not obsessing over it. Do you ever find that when you focus on something, like let's say a bad thing about yourself, it just seems to get worse and worse and worse? When I was in high school, I was obsessed with having clear skin, and I'd always like search my face every single day, and I'd always notice when I had a new pimple. And as an adult, ever since I just don't care, like I take care of my skin, but ever since it's not my focus, I hardly ever get breakouts. So be careful where you put your focus. Try to put your focus on something else, unless your hair fallout is an indicator of some kind of health issue. Then I suggest, if your hair fallout is extreme, then definitely go see your healthcare provider to get that sorted. Hair fallout could be a symptom of something much more serious, so you definitely do not want to mess around if you're experiencing extreme hair loss, a lot more than usual. Don't wear your hair up in really, really tight updos. You know that it's tight when your face is being lifted. Like, you know when you put your hair in like a really tight bun? Like, these look super sexy, these tight updos, but like it's so bad for your hair. So if your face is being raised like this, it's too tight. If you can see the hair is being lifted at the follicles, it's too tight. Opt for loose buns and ponytails. And in general, if it hurts, take it down. It's not worth it. Just take it down. Don't ignore dandruff. This is something that I've learned actually from a second person's experience. When my husband gets really bad flare-ups of dandruff, his hair falls out everywhere. Like, it just falls out of his head. And lucky for him, he has a lot of hair. But if you don't have that much hair and you have dandruff, like, it's a problem. So don't ignore dandruff. When your scalp is in jeopardy when your scalp is under attack from the fungus. Your hair just seems to die and just fall out of your hair. So treat your dandruff, have a healthy scalp, healthy hair, healthy scalp, your hair will not fall out at such a rapid pace. Which brings me to my next tip, which is also about the scalp, and that is don't ignore buildup. Buildup on your scalp from hair products, from oils, from heavy product can actually mimic dandruff and give you flakes and can be itchy. Anything that is suffocating your scalp or causing any kind of irritation, especially if you have sensitive skin, is going to possibly cause more hair fallout. So if you have scalp issues, you want to deal with that. If you have buildup, you want to make sure you get rid of that. You want your scalp to be clean, happy, and thriving. A happy scalp means less hair fallout. If you have sensitive skin, you need to be extra careful than everyone else. I personally have very sensitive skin, so whenever I'm trying a new product, I always put it on my skin first, usually on my wrist, just to make sure that I'm not allergic to it, because if you put something on your body, especially your scalp, that is an allergen to you, your scalp is going to be very angry. Your hair could be very angry and start to actually fall out. So if you have sensitive skin, just be extra careful, read the ingredients, know your body, listen to your body, be very aware of whenever you're trying something new and how your skin responds to it. I've actually read in the comments that some of you have tried certain hair products and your hair actually started to fall out and you got bald patches. So this is not something to mess around with. Like, products can be amazing, but they can also be harmful if they're not meant for you. This one is super simple, but I feel like it's really important and needs to be said, and that is leave your hair alone. The more you manipulate your hair, the more you touch it, the more you comb it, the more hairstyles and the more things you do to it, the more hair that you lose. You notice every time you go to style your hair, you hear like snaps, you see like hair coming out of your hands. Just try to manipulate your hair as little as possible. Keep it up, keep it out of the way. Let your hair do its thing. Just leave it alone. Just try to leave it alone as much as you possibly can. This is kind of a side note to leaving your hair alone. Try to keep your hair up as much as possible. If it hurts your scalp to keep your hair up all the time, try to interchange from leaving it down and putting it up, but just trying to keep your hair together. If you have to wear it down, try putting it in like 2 braids. Just keep your hair together. There is safety in numbers. You're stronger as a team than on your own, and that's what your hair is like. When your hair is all off by itself, all off in the fringes, it's more likely to get broken off, get snapped, get caught in things, get ripped, get pulled out, which is why I like to keep my hair together, either up in a bun or like in some kind of style that keeps it all together. It's safety in numbers. Don't wash your hair every day. This can irritate your scalp, dry it out, and cause hair fallout. And also, every time you wash your hair, this is manipulating your hair. This is usually like detangling, you're touching it. You're doing the opposite of leaving it alone, like you're giving it a lot of attention, you're touching it a lot. So you're just going to, by default, have more fallout because you are pulling on your hair. The likelihood of you losing your hair and pulling your hair out greatly increases on wash day because you are detangling, you're combing. Maybe you're like angry while you're detangling or something. Don't do that. That's another note. That's another tip. Do not detangle. In fact, do not touch your hair if you're upset, if you are not feeling like super chill, because you can't help but pull out more hair when you're angry. Trust me, I've done it. Don't do it. Don't detangle angry. Don't detangle and drive. Wait. Yeah, definitely don't detangle and drive. Don't wash your hair not often enough. Don't wash your hair once a month. So don't be too polarizing with what you choose to do. Don't wash your hair every day, but also don't wash it like hardly ever. All of the dirt, debris, and oil on your scalp can actually be really irritating and can make it harder for your hair to grow out. And in some cases, it could cause hair fallout. So you want to make sure your scalp is healthy, happy, and clean, but not too clean. Not everyday clean, but clean. I like to wash my hair once a week. I feel like once a week is a good amount of time for me to wash my hair. It's not too often that it strips my scalp, but it is not too long and that my scalp is getting super disgusting and my follicles are getting clogged and it's causing problems. So often, but not too often. Don't wear your hair down if you don't have to. When you wear your hair down, it looks beautiful, looks great. I always wear my hair down in these videos, but as soon as this video is off, my hair is going up in some kind of protective hairstyle, probably a bun, because that's easy. So don't wear your hair down too much. When your hair is down, it is more prone to getting picked off by things. Babies, birds. Oh my gosh, like today, if my hair was down, a bird almost pooped on my head. I had a hat on and it like landed on the rim of my hat. So safety, there's safety in keeping your hair up. Like nasty things can happen to your hair when you leave it down too much, especially with luck like mine. Like a bird poop, like what are the chances? Have you ever been pooped on by a bird? I have. Now twice. The second time today. Hair accessories are very important. Use scrunchies, preferably as something soft, like a satin scrunchie. Don't use tiny, thin little hair ties. These can rip your hair. And especially, do you have those little balls of hair on your hair ties? If you do, I'm glad you're watching this video. You are taking out your hair ties by pulling them out, aren't you? You like one of those people that like takes their hair tie and their punch just like rips it out of their hair. Do not pull. Do not rip. If you have little hair balls in your hair ties, you are losing a lot of hair unnecessarily. So when you're taking out your hair ties, be gentle. Unwrap it. Do the opposite of what you did to put it in as you take it out. And be gentle. When you take your hair out, you shouldn't really be losing any, like there should be no hair being ripped out. The hair that comes out should be hair that would have fallen out anyway. Don't use thin hair ties and no hair balls in your hair ties. If you have hair balls in your hair ties, you're being too rough. Gentle. Patience. Number one, patience, patience, patience. When you're tying your hair, don't tie it too tightly. Do it twice, but I find that if you do it too tight, like this is kind of like really tight, it kind of goes back to my first point. Don't wrap your scrunchie around your hair too many times. The looser, the better. Just as tight enough so that your hair stays together, but not so tight that you're pulling out your hair. Detangling. When you're detangling your hair, you want to be super gentle. You want to start at the ends, not combing from the root, because when you comb from the root, you create knots and it's just more difficult to comb through. As well as something I like to do, I like to detangle with my hands first and then use a comb after, because I find that I like to be able to get kind of the bigger knots with my hands because I can really feel where they are, and then a comb kind of just gets anything that I missed. Be super gentle from tip to root and try to use your hands as much as possible. Some people prefer to use a brush over their hands. I personally like to use my hands first just to make sure that I'm not ripping out my hair. I find that when you're using a comb, it can be really easy just kind of like rip through it because you can't really feel the resistance, and you also, when you're using your hands, you really get to see like all of the hair that's coming off. So I feel like it just helps you become a little bit more conscious of what you're doing and aware of how much hair you're actually losing. Hair extensions, protective styles. I have definitely had my issues with protective styles in the past. It's funny because protective styles should in theory help protect your hair, but sometimes if they're too heavy and they cause too much tension at your scalp, you can actually lose a lot of hair. When I first had my Marley locks put in, oh my gosh, it was so heavy. The braids that I had put in under my Marley locks were so fine, and I had so many extensions in my head that like I couldn't sleep at night. I actually lost so much hair when I took out those extensions, and silly me, I put them back in again, but I made sure to be more specific about what I wanted the next time around. So if you are going to do protective styles or extensions, be vocal, communicate what you want. If it hurts as you're going through, don't be silent like I did. Tell them that it hurts. I know that if you're like me and like you feel like you don't want to like hurt anyone's feelings or like make things awkward, like no, there's nothing more awkward than like not being able to sleep because your braids are too tight. So be vocal. If there's tension, you're probably going to have some hair loss. You don't want to lose hair when you have a protective style in, because chances are if you're protective styling, you're trying to grow out your hair or protect your hair or have some fun with like a new hairstyle. You don't want to have hair loss as a result. It's not worth it. So be vocal about what you want, or just don't do it. This is for my fellow sensitive people out there with allergies. If you have dust allergies, I have dust allergies. They're the worst. Like the worst level of allergy that you could have, I have for dust. So if you have dust allergies and things that irritate your skin and that can irritate your scalp, you want to be extra mindful to be washing your pillowcases regularly. And if it's really bad, you might even want to consider getting some kind of air purifier to help clean the dust out of your space. I personally have an air conditioner that purifies the air and kills dust mites, so it has been amazing for dealing with any kind of skin issues. And the reason why I mention this is because if your skin is irritated and falling off and angry, your hair growth is going to be stunted and you're going to have more fallout if your scalp and skin is angry. So if you have sensitive skin and dust allergies, get on top of that. Make sure that your space is clean. Part 2 is going to be all about my diet and the supplements that I take, which I think is my number one for why I don't lose as much hair. Hair care is super important, but diet is just absolutely game-changing, life-changing for hair growth, hair loss, skin, body composition, everything. Like diet, I cannot say it enough how important diet is. Some people try to pretend like diet doesn't affect your body, but like of course it does. Everything that you eat is becoming incorporated into your physical body. You literally are what you eat. So of course it affects hair loss, hair growth, and your skin. So that is going to be the next part. If you want to see that, you can subscribe and let me know in the comments below, what do you do to prevent hair loss? What are some of your hair care practices? We would love to know. All right, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.